him on the Baltimore Comedy Festival. Please give it up for Miller Moore!
All right. My family has always been really supportive of my comedy career. When I first started doing comedy, I told one of my sisters that at comedy clubs, there's a 2-drink minimum. And she goes, ooh, you're more of a 3-drink minimum type comic. So hopefully y'all are on your 3rd drink. I suffer from OCD. That's why I never really got into cocaine. Because I could never get the line straight enough. I'm a really lame dude. I don't do drugs, I don't drink alcohol, I don't even drink soda. My idea of a wild night is squeezing a little lemon in my water and let's get this party started. One time a girl told me, you're a really great date for a Tuesday afternoon. I don't know what the heck that meant, but at least she didn't say Monday afternoon. I'm so lame that I might have my bachelor party at a cat cafe. Because I love cats. All my boys are gonna be like, for your bachelor party, we don't get lit at the strip club, right? And I'm gonna be like, well, there will be pussy at the venue. And a lit turd box. I really do love cats. And I grew up Catholic. So when I was in my single digits, my parents would take me to Mass with them, and I would just sit there at Mass in a cat position and just start meowing and grooming myself, AKA licking myself. All the people sitting around us would be laughing their butts off. And that's when my parents realized that they probably shouldn't have had a 4th child. Especially not one 9 years after the 3rd child. Because Dad's sperm wasn't quite as crisp as it used to be. I do have one vice. I absolutely love 5-hour energy shots. I actually took one right before I got up here. Now it takes a few seconds for the caffeine rush to kick in, but when it kicks in, oh boy. All right, it just kicked in. My favorite flavor is cherry, but unfortunately the store I went and I didn't have cherry, so I didn't settle for my second favorite flavor, berry. Actually, that's a lie. My second favorite was great, but the store didn't have it either. I'm like, what the hell's going on? The only problem with taking a 5-hour energy is I completely forget my set, so I really don't know what I'm saying right now. Woo! Wow, that wore off quick. 5 hours, that didn't even last 5 minutes. I got ripped off. Yeah, I know I sound like I'm from the deep south, but I'm not. I grew up 20 minutes outside of Baltimore in Maryland. Growing up, I didn't realize I had an accent, but I should have known. Because in high school, my nickname was the Simpsons character, Cletus the Slack-Jawed Yokel. Cletus is the redneck character on The Simpsons that's always saying stuff like, hey Ma, we don't eat some squirrel tonight. When your nickname is Cletus the Slack-Jawed Yokel, you don't get a lot of action with the ladies. And I didn't. In high school, I got a lot of F's in the classroom, but I definitely didn't get any F's outside of the classroom. I love my accent because I can get away with saying the dumbest shit and just pawn it off as some old family wisdom. I could be like, as my grandpappy used to say, if the cat ain't wearing shoes, then don't follow him. Everybody's like, wow, that's really profound. I have extremely low self-esteem. My self-esteem is so low that even in my sexual fantasies, I have to pay for sex. And it's a bitch trying to find a Citibank ATM in a sexual fantasy. I don't want to pay. Growing up in Maryland, I had an infatuation with New York City. So when I was 22, I moved to Manhattan and lived in a studio apartment by myself for 11 years. Until my landlord kicked me out because I'm white. Or because I didn't pay the rent. It was one of those two things. My landlord took me to housing court, and because I was broke, I had to defend myself. Before my court case, I went to a community organizer to get some help. I walked into his office, I sat down, told him all about my situation. He listened, he typed a few things on his computer, and then he excused himself to use the bathroom. While he was in the bathroom, I decided to take a peek on his computer screen to see what he had been typing. And the first thing I saw was underneath my name, it said, this guy's a fucking idiot. I was like, whoa, I am an idiot, but I'm no fucking idiot. I'm smarter than that. Yeah, sure, I didn't graduate college, but I did get in and drop out twice. My parents are so proud of me. So after seeing that, I was really confident that I was going to win my case. But somehow I lost. I guess when you haven't paid your rent in 6 months, and your defense is, I really like living there. It's not quite as strong as you would think it would be. My defense was so pathetic that the judge actually felt sorry for me and started kind of becoming my defense attorney. She asked my landlord's lawyer, she's like, can't he just stay there? He's a good dude, he'll pay you back. And then she looked into my eyes and realized I wasn't paying shit back and ruled in their favor. And I'm such a nice person, as I was exiting the courtroom, I held the door for my landlord's lawyer. And I said, have a nice day. In my mind, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I should have asked if I could crash on his couch. One time I was on a first date, and I told the girl that I used to live in Manhattan, but I got kicked out of my apartment. She was intrigued, because it does sound like some bad boy type shit. And we all know how the ladies love them bad boys. When you're sweet, they don't want your meat. She goes, why did you get kicked out of your apartment? And I should have lied, because that's what bad boys do. At least I think that's what they do. I really don't know. I'm a good boy. I should have been like, the reason I got kicked out of my apartment is because the building had a no pet policy, and I was living with 3 corgis named Snap, Crackle, and Pop. A heterosexual man living with 3 dogs, especially 3 corgis, is the definition of a bad boy. Instead, I told her the truth. I said, because I ran out of money and I stopped paying the rent. The look of disgust on her face let me know that much like my fictitious dogs, I will never be seeing her ever again. I live in Queens now, and I'm very unique in my Queens neighborhood, because I'm like the only white person roaming those streets. There are no white people, there are no black people either. It's all just miscellaneous people. Probably don't get canceled for saying it that way. Now my neighborhood is really a smorgasbord of cultures. There's a ton of Colombians, Venezuelans, Filipinos, Koreans, Chinese, Indian, Bangladeshi, people from the Middle East, even a ton of Sherpas. You know, the dudes that help you climb Mount Everest. I run into them all the time. And they always say the same thing when they see me. They're like, wow, a white person in this neighborhood? That's even more rare than seeing the abominable snowman in the Himalayas. There are a ton of kids in the neighborhood as well, and I'm friendly with a lot of them. In a good way, not a creepy way. And one time I was walking down a block, and there were a group of kids playing. I had to walk right through their group. As I'm walking through the group, I knew a bunch of them, so I'm saying hello to everybody. One of the kids had a skateboard, and I was even heavier than I am now. I jokingly said to this kid, don't let me hop on your skateboard because I'll break it. And then this 10-year-old little boy looks me in my eyes and goes, mister, one day you're gonna lose that weight. I started crying. I was like, holy crap, I'm in a Hallmark movie. I didn't have the heart to tell him that I was walking to Taco Bell. The block I live on is interesting because in the afternoon, it's all kids playing. And late at night, it's all hookers playing. So when I leave my apartment at 3 in the afternoon, I see BJ riding his bike. And when I return home at 3 in the morning, I see a dude sitting on a bike receiving a BJ. It's the circle of life. When I first moved onto the block, the hookers were so nice to me. They were calling me Big Daddy. They're like, hey, Big Daddy, what's going on? And then they found out my wallet's known as Slim Daddy. They don't talk to me anymore. Also, when I first moved onto the block, I was really lonely and I just wanted to talk to somebody. So one night I approached one of the ladies of the night and I just wanted to talk to her. I was highly disappointed because she barely listened to what I had to say. I guess when you just want to talk to a hooker, saying, hey, I would like some oral, isn't the proper way to word it. I did get my dick sucked though, so it was a phenomenal conversation. All right, that's my time. Thanks, everybody.
Keep it going for Miller!